Hello and welcome to the 9th Raspberry Pi tutorial. Today we're going to be starting a snake-like game called Pi Snake. So I've already made a folder called Pi Snake, and I'm just going to go into Genie so we can get cracking. I've had a pretty busy day today, so I'm only going to have time to show you how to just basically show you how to set up the basics. But yeah. Happy New Year to everyone, by the way, and Happy Christmas if you didn't see my last video. And also, I'd just like to say a massive thank you because I've got about 400 subscribers now, which is fantastic. So I'm going to call it Pi Snake when I can get my mouse in the right place. Pi Snake. Okay. And then I'm just going to give it Pi Snake game written by Liam Fraser for Raspberry Pi tutorials. Of course, we need to import Pygame. And we also need to import sys. So we can call sys.exit when we want to stop our main loop. So I'm going to say import pygame for game libraries and import sys. We can call sys.exit. Okay. Right then. So, what's the next thing we need to do? We need to do from pygame.locals import all. So import constants used by Pygame. I'm gonna do it slightly differently. I've just been having a look around at the different ways to do it, and one way of doing things differently is to have your main as a class. So let's say Pi Snake main as a class, and then give it some comments. So we'll say the main Pi Snake class. This class handles the main initialization and creating of the game. And the good thing about this is, we'll just get rid of this. The good thing about this is, when you call your initializers, you can set a width, a height. So if you wanted to play the game at different sizes, then that's a good way to do it. So we're going to have our init method, which will be when we initialize our class, and we're going to say self because we always pass that through, and then we're going to pass through the parameters. If you pass through parameters with an equals, that means the optional parameters. So what you can do is I'll just finish explaining this. But what you can basically do is you can pass default. So let's say 300. I'm gonna have to change these in a minute, but height equals 300. So if you then initialize the pi, Pi Snake main, so let's go main equals Pi Snake main. So that's now created an instance of that. You could pass in like 500 and 600 for the width and the height, but if you don't pass anything through, then it just uses the 300 and the 300. But for now, anyway, at least I'm going to use the same background image we've used in PyShooter, just because for now it's easier. So I'll just open this up to find what size it is. 370 wide by 542. So 370 by 542. Right, and then in this, so let's just initialize. And then the first thing to do is to initialize Pygame. So yeah, we don't need that. We'll just say initialize Pygame here. So we do pygame.init, and then set our window size. So we'll go self.width equals width. Self.height equals height. It's actually bad practice to have the same input variables as like your parameters passed as the variables inside the class. So I'm just going to say in width, because you could get confused. So in height, so yeah, in width, in height. So that does exactly the same thing. I've just given them different names. And then we're going to create the screen. So we're going to do self.screen was pygame.display.set_mode. And then we're going to pass through our width. So self.width and self.height. I don't think you actually need to specify, like in the other tutorials I've specified like what how many colours to use, so like 32-bit colour or 16-bit colour or something like that, but I think this should work. We'll see. Where's the line? Line 24, self.screen. It must be 2-item sequence. Oh yeah. Of course, you need that to be self-enclosed in the brackets because they're the coordinates. So put them in another pair of brackets, and then that should work. Hopefully. Well, yeah. There we go. That worked. The reason it went straight off is because we haven't got a main loop. So what else can we do there? We can center our, and I'm just going to copy this from PyShooter. So we'll do another couple of things. We will set our window position just before. So set the window title, and we'll also have a set window to center of screen. Right. So we're going to set the window title. So pygame.display.set_caption, and then PySnake, and then set window to the center of the screen. We need to import OS as well. os.environ, and then we do SDL video window position equals center. I've got a bit messy typing today. It's because it's awkward where the keyboard is compared to where the microphone is. So what have we done? So yeah, we need to import OS. So I'll just extend what we've done here. I might as well make that a bit neater. Also import OS for setting SDL video window position. And the reason we need to use that is because yeah, there we go. The reason we need to use that is because Pygame uses a toolkit called SDL. So Pygame's actually what you'd call a wrapper to that. So it takes all that code in a different language and then makes like a Python interface to it. So it's nice and easy to use. So we've got our main class now. It still needs a main loop at the moment. But for now, I'm going to make my background class. So class, background, class, and then just say class learning methods to draw our background. Okay. So then we need to define our initializer and pass through self, and then we'll say self dot. Actually, no, we don't need that. Background file equals background dot png. So create a variable where with what our background image is called, and then we need to load that in. So we go self.image equals pygame.image.load background file dot convert I'm just gonna put it's good practice that whenever you have a new word in your variable, usually start with a lowercase one, and then everything after that is uppercase. But where you define classes, it's usually all capitals. So that should actually be a capital. It doesn't really matter that much, but that tends to be the preferred way to do it. But then again, it depends on what language you're using. Right, so we've got that. And then we just need to define our draw method, which is just draw the background to screen surface. And then we're going to call main dot screen dot actually let's call that PySnake rather than main. So then we can go PySnake dot screen. So then we can go PySnake dot screen dot blit, and then we'll say self dot image, and then another brackets because we're putting in our coordinates, and 0, 0 is just the top left, and that should, no, that won't work, will it, because we've still not got our main loop. We'll have that in a second. Yeah. Alright. So we have our main class. And we're going to define our main loop with self. I'm going to say this is the main loop of our game, and then while true, capital T for true, for event in pygame.event.get if event.type is pygame.quit, then we need to exit. So we call sys.exit. Let's say I'll put this into a separate function as well, actually. So I'll have def handle events. Right, so that can go in there like that. So handles all events for PySnake. Okay, so then we're basically getting all the events, and then if we get a quit event, so basically if there is a quit event in the collection of events, then we need to exit. That's a pretty easy one. And then in here we can just go so the first thing to do is handle all events, and then we'll just run self.handle events like that. Then we're going to say, so now our events have been handled. Oh yeah, because we haven't run the main loop yet. Okay, so after doing that, you need to go PySnake dot main loop, and then so I'll just put this here. Create an instance of our PySnake main class and run and start the main loop. Try this. PySnake main instance has no attribute main loop. Oh, right, that's why. I'd put all that as part of the initializer. So I'm just going to delete through to get rid of the tabs. So everything's on the right level. So that can go there. So let's give that a try now. Line 45. Unexpected indent. Alright, yeah, that's indented twice. Yeah, that's the only thing that's a bit annoying with Python, I think. Having to get the indents right can sometimes be a problem. Okay, and I forgot to put self in there. We need to make an instance of our background class. Right, okay, so I'm gonna say draw background to screen. So I'm gonna say make a new instance of background. Background equals background class. Okay, so then we initialize the class and then we say background.draw. Okay, so we draw our background and then we need to update the screen. PySnake.screen dot flip, I'm gonna say, and then hopefully that should work. Flip. Display. Yeah. So it's pygame dot display dot flip. Yeah, update the display. But yeah, that's gonna be the foundations for our PySnake game. The reason I've decided to go through all this again is just because I think like separating things into classes and stuff like that, and like functions to handle your events and stuff like that just makes it a lot nicer. And all this code's being commented, so it just makes it a lot easier to understand, really. But yeah, thanks for watching, and next week I'll just be improving on this, or we'll start getting a snake on the screen and stuff like that. But now the foundations are out the way, we're on the way to having a game anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.